when we are thinking for a long time, or when we are using our cognitive brain and doing some work, we tend to get, I'm using a very exaggerated movement, but we tend to close up. When we listen to music, we actually expand, and this is a very healthy way. Have you all noticed that when you're very stressed, you tend to do these kind of movements? You try to expand and you just shake out that tension in your body. This is what music would do. So if we could intersperse our entire day with music, this is a very healthy way to de-stress. Music in learning, it helps in developing language. You all know that even first time English speakers, how do we introduce language? We give nursery rhymes and songs, and they sing it in a tune, and then they get the meaning of the words that they speak. Vocabulary comes in through music much more easily. Languages can be learned so much more easily through music. Memory. Have you all noticed that, say for example, math tables, when they're set in a particular rhythm, in a very sing-song tune, then it's faster to remember rather than, to just say it. But when it's set in a specific rhythm or a tune, it's easier to recall. Now, math and music have a very, very strong connection. Those of you who play a percussion instrument will all the more relate to this statement of mine. So, when you play a percussion instrument, there's a lot of fraction involved. When we say taka, taka, dimi, taka, takita, they're all like fractions. They're all division of time. So that is so close to calculations. So when you can grasp in a very subtle way the speed at which something is said, or the interval in which a note is played or sung, that's so in tune with what math does. There's a place value, there is interval, there are patterns, there's sequencing. That's what math is all about. This after this, this after this. And there's a place value. And even in our notes, there is a place value. If we can understand this in the realm of music, math becomes easier. And it's no wonder that in that study that the students who received more music lessons excelled in math. Discipline. Now, this is a very interesting thing that I have observed in my experience, that when I used to teach children below 7 years, I hardly had say things like, now all of you get up, stand in a line, all of you put your books aside and do the next activity. I just had to sing a song that I would do for them to stand on a line. I would just have to sing a song for them to clear their tables. I would just sing a song so that they can put their bowls on the table and start serving food. So it's a beautiful way, without treating them like cattle, or if I may say so. If instead of saying, hey, do this, hey, do this, hey, do this, we're like how we manage cows and goats, like go, you're just doing that. That's how I feel. It's so undignified. These are children, they're humans, so we need to treat them with dignity. If I just sing a song, and we go and play in the sand, I just have to use this small one line, so everybody would leave they'll start forming a line with folding their hands, and then walk out of the class without any noise, without anything. And it's so beautiful, it's so dignified, isn't it? And this is not just about making a line, but even if I say, today is our drawing day, today is our drawing day, and then all the other books will go in, they will bring the drawing book out, they will bring out the crayons, and that's all I have to do. I don't have to say, Now it's drawing time. Now it's, time for you to take out your crayons, take out your drawing notebook. Nothing, just a small cue. Music can be wonderful for discipline. This is with very young kids. But even when I go for teacher training sometimes, say after a tea break, people are very excited about what they're hearing for the first time, and they're discussing, and then I want them to come back in class. I can just sing, I can just make one note, or I can just say, I can just clap my hands rhythmically, and everybody would just join in. And I feel that music can be used in this way to have a more dignified way of disciplining people, and rather than speaking harshly, we don't need to do all that. Music can just bring about a discipline. Just you can have a repertoire of songs that you have for each activity, like for going out of class, for coming back to class, for say good morning, or if you want the noise levels to come down, you can sing a particular song. And you can also sing a song in different volumes. Like, it's not as if music needs to always be very, very slow and relaxing. It needs to be peppy and exciting also. But then we can have this polarity when we sing something loud, and then we also say, and you can bring that polarity, and without you realizing, you just have the class in your hands. And music can do this for you very, very easily. Sequential learning. Now, sequential learning, which is something we take for granted, does not happen very easily. And of late, I work with children with learning difficulties, and I find that sequencing is something that of late many children have a problem with. Now, sequential learning is very important for reading, for writing, math, for understanding a whole lot of things. Cause and effect in science, everything needs a foundation in sequential thinking. In sequential thinking, sequential learning. And in music, it's so easy to bring this understanding. The notes, one after the other, the lines come one after the other. So it is a very unconscious learning of sequential learning that happens in music. And of course, it's a great joy to sing, isn't it? I have come across very, very few people who don't respond positively to music. And I was just watching a few videos that were on when I was singing. When I did that note, I didn't move, I didn't sway or something, but I saw so many of you doing this, automatically. And it is just something that the body actually moves according to sound. Now, I just want to an instrument called chadney plate. It's a very thin metal plate on which they spread fine granules of sand, and then they produce music, or like say sound, any sound, preferably some music. And they found that the sand particles, they form different shapes, and it's amazing how sound can alter the shape. Now, our organs are all of different shapes. Now, when the right sounds, we are subjected to the right, we are exposed to right sounds, obviously there will be an effect on the shapes inside our bodies. And that is one of the reasons cited in researches that physical health improves through music. Yes, I think this is quite self-explanatory. The sound processing begins in the brain stem, and also your heart rate. Many of us feel very relaxed while listening to music. Here again, there is an institute called Heart Math, the Heart Math Institute. And this Heart Math Institute, I have come across it in Australia, and they have proven that when the heart rate is slower and when your breathing is relaxed, your brain functions better. And when music has this effect on you, definitely the brain will function in a better way. So when music calms you down, like I said, it's like a caress without anyone touching you. Certain notes is so soothing, and automatically your body relaxes, your muscles they expand. When we are thinking for a long time, or when we are using our cognitive brain and doing some work, we tend to get, I'm using a very exaggerated movement, but we tend to close up. When we listen to music, we actually expand. And this is a very healthy way. Have you all noticed that when you're very stressed, you tend to do these kind of movements? You try to expand and you just shake out that tension in your body. This is what music would do. So if we could intersperse our entire day with music, this is a very healthy way to de-stress. Yes. In daily life, you can use music to begin the day. We all know that the first few moments, they kind of set the pattern for the day. When you wake up with the stress and when you wake up with tension, it will just carry through. It's very important to be relaxed in the morning, to set the right note, if I may say, for the day. And so if we can begin with music, it's a very, very beautiful habit to create. And during the day, of course, if you are fortunate to be working with children, then it's easy to incorporate it. But even otherwise, even if you're working on the system in an office, it's good to have background music being played. Now, there's been a lot of debate about whether live music is better or, recorded music is bad. See, we move with the times, and it's not possible to have live music all the time. We can't afford it also. And so any form of music playing in the background is very good. And also to ease stress, to lighten a situation. There is a saying in Telugu, no? They say, పాటలు పాడుకొని గడిచిపోయింది రోజంతా. We went through it like a song. And if you notice, like agricultural laborers, they work in this heat. It's a lot of laborious physical work, a lot of physical work. And if for them to ease that strain of physical pain, they resort to singing songs. And they also have, a reply to a song. Somebody might ask a question and then they reply. It's like a very humorous way in which they work. They just make that laborious, painful work lighten it by singing. And we have kind of lost it in the industrial world, and we can easily bring it back with a little bit of consciousness to include music in workspaces. And also to make you alert. Like I said, how the different parts of the brain, they become alert. A lot of times when a class is noisy or people are tending to doze off, you just have to bring one song in class and then the class is there with you. And to help you unwind at the end of the day, so many of us do this. We come home and we switch on the music, and while cooking or, while making a small meal for ourselves, we switch on the music. And also, of course, how can we forget lullabies to help us sleep better? So, this is a very beautiful way to put children to sleep, and also for us also to sleep even as adults. Music is a beautiful, soothing way to sleep.